Hello, everyone. My name is Amber Goodrich, and I'm one of the College Bound Regional Officers for Washington State. Thank you so much for taking the time to attend this webinar. Today, I want to go over the concepts of mindset and neuroplasticity. I also want to give you some tips to better manage your time and how to apply that to studying. I'm also going to share some resources to cope with stress and remind you of resources available with you. I want us to start thinking about the concept of mindset during the presentation. Carol Dweck is a psychologist from Stanford University who researched and published her work on the concept of mindset. She says that we all have the opportunity to learn, grow, and stretch our brains if we choose to. As a new student, you will have the opportunity to alter your success by the way you approach your learning. Dweck states that there are two approaches to learning and understanding new concepts: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. What do you think of when you think of the term intelligence? Is it something that you think is fixed, that you are born with a certain amount of intelligence? Or is it something that you can work on, develop, and grow? People with a fixed mindset think that they might not have the ability to succeed, especially when courses get more challenging. The brain works like a muscle. It changes and grows in response to what you do. The more challenges you face, the stronger and smarter your brain can become. It's a concept called neuroplasticity, which means that our brains can be rewired. Students that adopt this growth mindset do better in school. If there's something that you think you're not good at, keep working on it. One thing that I'm fascinated by is when I watch children learn new skills. Do you remember the first time that you rode a bike when you were a kid? Or maybe it was skateboarding, skiing, or playing the piano. Did you fall or mess up when you were learning? Because you probably got back up and tried again. I think sometimes we've lost that as adults. We're not immediately good at something, so we tend to give up and think we're not good at it. We've forgotten to think that new things take practice. I hope that you'll apply this to new ideas that you encounter when you're in school. Physics and math can be hard, or maybe writing and lots of reading doesn't come easy to you. Work through your frustration and remember that with practice, the neurons in your brain make new connections, and you are literally strengthening your mind as you learn. So I challenge you to adopt a growth mindset. One thing I recommend that you do is to create a schedule for yourself. Plan out your week hour by hour. This is an example of a student who has taken a full course load of 15 credits. This example schedules out when they have their classes. History is 8 to 9 every weekday, English is 10 to 11, and chemistry is 12 to 1, with a lab every Wednesday from 2 to 3. The student also has a work-study job from 5 to 8, 3 days a week. After you put in your time slots that can't be moved, then you can start to schedule out everything else. Maybe you want to go to the gym every morning. Schedule out that time. Now you can see how much free time you have left, and you can choose when you want to study. This student is going to study the same hours on their off days of their work study job because it's easier for them to set aside that time. And then decide where else you want to fit your time. Do you prefer to study in the evenings, or do you like to keep those free and study in the afternoons? It's up to you. I also recommend that you make a schedule and stick to it. There's no reason you can't be creative with your study time. As you see from this example, the student has 1 hour gaps between each class. For me personally, I remember I hated having a schedule like that because an hour break between classes was too short of a time to go back to my dorm. So I had to get creative, and maybe I would run to the library or I would find a study nook in whichever building my class was in, and I would spend a little time reading there before my next class. If you need that time just to decompress, though, go ahead and use that time to do whatever. Just make a schedule. It helps you better visualize and manage your time when you can see what's going on. Feel free to use technology to help you. Make a recurring calendar appointment on your phone so you can keep track of it and get reminders when it's time to study. Another thing I would recommend is creating a monthly calendar for yourself. I would find a blank calendar on the internet and print it out. And personally, I like to color code my classes. I would write out on Mondays the work that I needed to do that week. In this example, it would probably be reading assignments for the class that week. Then I would write in due dates for all my assignments, tests, and quizzes. I would do this for the whole semester and tape up the two most current months in front of my desk, or at least near it, so I could always see it when I was studying. This would help me better plan out my studying. If I knew when the due dates were, I could better plan out how long it might take me to study for an exam or to finish a project. And then I knew when to start working on each project to give myself enough time before the due date. You can even write in little reminders for yourself on the calendar, like start studying for this midterm on Tuesday the 15th. The perfect thing about a blank calendar is that it's perfectly customizable to your needs and what works for you. Now that you've created a schedule to study, what's next? First, find your perfect spot. Think about what your needs are. Do you need absolute quiet? Maybe in the table in the library would be perfect for you. Or do you prefer some background noise? Maybe a coffee shop or the student union would be best for you. Depending on the weather, maybe you want to find a table or bench outside to study and read. Try to minimize distractions from social media and texts from friends. Put your phone and/or smartwatch on Do Not Disturb. Wear headphones and listen to music if it helps you zone out and block out distractions. If you're studying in your dorm room, let your roommate know you're studying so they can respect your time as best they can in a small dorm room. Also, avoid multitasking. Pick one class that you're going to work on and stick with it, rather than going back and forth between different assignments. To make the most of your study time, define an objective for your block of study. Are you going to read 2 chapters? Or are you going to make it 50% through an assignment? Maybe your objective is to outline a paper. Going back to our daily log, block out chunks of time to study and stick to that schedule. Use tools such as flashcards where you can read aloud definitions of terms to yourself. Also, try explaining difficult concepts to someone else. By pretending you are teaching this knowledge to someone else, you can better understand and see themes in what you're studying. When we're stressed out, our minds are often racing with thoughts. Our heart rate is elevated, and sometimes we are jittery. One way to manage this anxiety is to pause and take deep breaths. Practice mindfulness, which means paying attention to what you're feeling, realizing you're in the present, and focusing on what is real. Think about your feet touching the floor. Think about your hands. Are they tense in a fist, or are they relaxed? Be present in your body. Are you sitting or standing? Is there a breeze from a fan or the air conditioning? What do you hear? Any noise from the outside? Bring yourself to the present and think about the sensations you are feeling. As you think about these things, try to push out intruding thoughts from your to-do list or anything that is causing you stress. Take deep breaths and center yourself. Just focus on yourself and where you are at this point in time. Maybe you want to try a visualizing experience. Close your eyes and picture your happy place, something that gives you comfort. Maybe it's the idea of a beach with the sound of the ocean waves and the sand between your toes. Or maybe you're in a favorite memory, something that brought you happiness. Maybe meditating works for you. Sitting in the lotus pose is an easy yoga move that you can do in your dorm room, where you can close your eyes and practice your breathing and clear your thoughts. Or maybe you're somebody who likes to journal. It doesn't have to be long form journaling either. You can write out a list of everything that is stressing you out. Prioritize the tasks that need to be finished. It's also important to note that stress doesn't always come from things that we have to do, like homework. Stress can come from problems with friends or family drama. Write those things down. Are they things that you can change, or are they things that you can accept and learn to let go of? Maybe it's time to take a break and go on a walk to clear your head. It's okay to take breaks and step away when you need to. One thing that is so important, and I know that it's hard to do as a college student, is get enough sleep. Sleep allows our body to recharge and restore itself. When we are sleep deprived, we are more vulnerable to our emotions, and it's not a good combination when we're already stressed out. Stress has so many physiological effects that hurt our body, from elevated blood pressure, headaches, heart problems, depression, and anxiety. Try to identify the things that you can let go of because it affects your entire well being. Sometimes bad thoughts hijack our minds when we're stressed. We can start thinking the worst of ourselves. Things such as, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm not college material. Remember that thoughts are not facts. I'm going to say that again. Thoughts are not facts. Just because we think something doesn't make it true or have a basis in reality. Remember what we first talked about, the growth mindset? You are good enough. You will learn to understand new concepts. You are college material. I'm going to say that again. You are college material. If you find yourself with these intruding thoughts, do your best to stop them. Create a new habit of rewiring your thought process to push out those thoughts. Instead of, I can't understand this, think, I don't understand this now, but I will with practice and help. Instead of, I'm not a math person, think, this is difficult now, but if I keep working on it, I will understand it. Challenging these thoughts isn't easy, but like everything, it takes practice to rewire your brain to think of new things from a different perspective. I also want to remind you that you're not alone. There are so many resources on campus that are dedicated to helping you. Take advantage of them. You have writing and math centers that can help you. There is tutoring available for any subject you are struggling in. I also encourage you to make friends in your classes and create study groups. By creating a community, you can help each other. I also want you to know that colleges have medical services on campus. They have nurse practitioners and sometimes even counseling service to help you with mental health needs if you find that your stress is causing you anxiety and depression. There's plenty of resources. And last but not least, we have college success coaches from CSF that can help you manage college. I want to thank you again for attending this webinar, and I wish you a successful first year at college. Thank you.